Hey, what's up, everybody? Alien X Gaming here. I got another YouTuber that I like to watch. Been watching for a while now. I got Irish Demon with us tonight. Irish, what's going on, man?
Hey, good to be here. I'm doing really well, thanks.
Excellent. So, as you're already aware, I'm trying to interview a lot of different people. That I watch or I talk to in the chat and all that stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to be looking forward to doing is getting people on here, so people can get to know them. So I mean that's going to be my goal. I know people have been watching you for a very long time, so I'm sure that they know quite a bit about you. But the point of this whole thing is, some people don't. A lot of people don't. They like to know who they're supporting, who they're watching. So I've got some questions for you that are some basic questions about you, and then a
Sure
little bit
thing.
about the content that you create. So, are you ready, sir?
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Ready to go.
Okay. First of all, what's your first name?
My first name is kind of two really. Either John or Sean. Sean is just the Gaelic version of John, and I do go by both to different people. So you're welcome to call me either. So yeah.
Very cool. I know everybody just usually calls you Irish anyway. It don't matter. No.
Exactly. Yeah.
How old are you?
I am 28 years old.
All right.
28 years young, I should say.
There you go. There you go. And where are you from, sir?
So I'm originally from the south of Ireland, a city called Cork. So it's like an old Viking city or whatever. And now I live in Western Australia, in Perth, which is like a brand new city right in the middle of the desert, the most isolated city on Earth.
Oh, wow. All right. And what made you move to that? Move to Perth?
So my partner, Mrs. Demon, she is originally from Perth, from Western Australia, but she spent about half of her life in Ireland, which is where we met. And when Ireland went into the most recent recession, we figured it would probably be better for us to hightail out of there and try to get a better life. So we moved over here, and it's just an awesome place. Australia is amazing, beautiful
Awesome.
place, lovely people, and yeah, love it over here.
That's great, man. All right. Now I know that you breed fish. Is that correct?
I sure do. I've got a couple of my tanks here behind me, and some shrimp tanks over here, and some more tanks over there, and I've got a whole fish room out the back. So yeah, at the moment I've got about maybe 2,500 or 3,000 fish. So I breed for private buyers and for pet stores and things like that. And then I also breed a lot of kind of high-end, kind of rare fish and things like that. So I have very specific customers all over Australia for that kind of stuff. So it's more of a hobby, but it pays some of the bills, I guess. So and it's a lot of fun. I love it.
That's awesome. I'll post a link down below because I know you made a video about your fishery or whatever you want to call that.
Setup, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I did a video. Just a few people had asked. There's a lot of people that subscribe to me that are big into fish, so a lot of people were asking for a tour of my fish room and tanks and stuff like that. So I did a tour, most of the tanks, not all of them, but the majority of them anyway. Yeah,
Sure.
so you can check that out down below.
Yep. Awesome. And you also have a couple other pets. What do you have?
I sure do. I have two beautiful little Chihuahuas, Minnie and Floki. They're like 2 pounds each and a couple of years old now. My two little buddies, love them to bits. I also breed king quail, which is like the world's smallest chicken. Basically, it's a tiny little bird that are really really popular over here. So I breed those guys too. So I've got about 30 or 40 of them right now because I just sold off a whole lot.
Wow.
But yeah, that's about it for pets, really.
That's awesome.
Like 500,000 fish.
That's awesome. All right. Let's see here. Let's talk about the young Irish life. What was your first job?
My first job was working for my dad. My dad was a confectioner and chef, and he had a few like little like burger. What would you call it? Like a burger float or like burger vans, which
Okay.
are super popular in Ireland. So we would park them outside pubs or on building sites and things like that. So that was my first job, running that for about 2 or 3 years. And then kind of after that, I just went into security. That's been what I worked at for most of my life. And then worked for Apple for a few years and Airbnb doing fraud investigation and stuff like that. And yeah, then I moved over here. I became a custody officer, so like kind of like prison officer. And I did that for the last few years. Then COVID hit, and then I switched to YouTube and breeding fish.
All right, fair enough. I guess I don't have to ask you what your current job is. No.
Well, yeah, yeah, pretty much YouTube and breeding fish.
That's awesome. That's very cool. You got to do what you like to do, man. All right. Let's see here. You are also part of the 4 Beardsmen of the Apocalypse. So
Sure
I've seen
am.
that. It's very, very early in the morning for me on Sundays, but not so early for you because
Yes.
you're like 14 hours ahead of me or so. But
Yeah, it's like midnight for me. Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. Um, but when I'm awake, I usually try to stop by. But how did you meet the other
Yeah.
Beardsmen?
It actually all started off with myself and PhD Tony. Actually, the two of us fight a lot. We argue a lot on the Beardsmen. I think that's one of the things that brings people back because we really challenge each other, and that's what I love about Tony. That we're able to have those really challenging conversations and then just have a laugh straight after. We don't kill each other too much. So basically, myself and PhD Tony were on a live stream randomly, and he had just done an awesome debate. And I passed a few remarks, and I asked him if he'd like to come on one of my first live streams. And then I met Johnny O and JL through kind of similar avenues. And one night I said, "Let's all get on a live stream together and just have a chat and have some fun." And so a good few people turned out. We had a great live stream. And I was like, what are we going to call this show? We're going to have to call it something and do it as regularly as we can. And so we figured all 4 of us had beards. So we came up with the 4 Beardsmen. And it's just been, I think it's been about 5 months now. We've been doing it every single Sunday. We swap between each of our 4 channels just to help each of our channels out. And it's just been awesome. It's been absolutely fantastic. I look forward to it every week. And they're great guys to chat with. Very, very fun and very informative, and it's a great show. I really enjoy doing it.
That's awesome. I enjoy watching the show. JL, he told me about some other stuff with the 4 Beardsmen. One thing he mentioned that I was curious about is, so why did the other 3 of you guys stop calling it the 4 Beardsmen of the Apocalypse and now just shorten it to the 4 Beardsmen?
That's a good question. I think I actually don't know the answer to that question. I know I just call it the Beardsmen. I don't even call it the 4 Beardsmen. I'm that lazy. I just call it the Beardsmen or just Beardsmen. That's an interesting question. I'm going to have to look into that and see why it is that we did stop calling it the 4 Beardsmen of the Apocalypse. Yeah, I'm going to have to look into that one and get back to you with an answer.
Excellent. All right. So how did you choose Irish Demon as your YouTube name?
So I actually used to have a channel about 2 years ago, which was a weight loss channel because I was much, much heavier than I am now. I was I got really sick about 5 years ago. So I used to be really, really fit, and I got really, really sick. And I put on a huge amount of weight. I was over 400 and something pounds. I was massive. Now, to be fair, a lot of it was like water weight from pain meds and things like that, and from being sick, I guess. And so I lost a lot of it pretty quickly. I had a pretty successful YouTube channel. I about what I have now in terms of subscribers, maybe slightly more. And that was called the Irish Weight Demon. That I ended that channel a couple of years ago because I got really sick again and I lost the vision in my left eye and I just wasn't feeling it. So I ended up deleting the channel because I hadn't posted for a long, long time. Kind of wish I hadn't done that now, but it is what it is. But so yeah, somebody called me a weight demon one day, saying that because I was able to kill that weight so quickly or so easily. And then at the time, I think my channel was just called like God only knows what, something really stupid. And then I was like, I think I might switch it to Weight Demon. And then I figured I'd call it Irish Weight Demon so people know who it is. And yeah, just dropped the weight. And so I dropped the weight from the name and went with Irish Demon. My other channel that I've started up is a vlogging channel. And so I'm planning on trying to travel the world as best I can on a budget. And so I do have to drop the demon from that. Because, obviously in some cultures, people take that very, very seriously, the term demon. So I do need to drop that from my name for that purpose. So you can check that out. It's called Lost Irishman. is the name I settled on.
That's cool.
And so yeah, you guys can check that out too. I'm going to be starting off in Western Australia, doing some interesting like abandoned water park is one that's coming up in the next week or so. So that's going
Awesome.
to be the first show over there. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm going to be looking forward to that. I heard you talking about it a couple days ago or whatever, but yeah,
Yeah. I'm looking
that's
forward to
interesting.
filming it. Yeah, it's going to be
I'll
wicked.
bet.
Yeah, all for sure.
You know,
Sure.
jeez, I don't know. I don't know how you're gonna not be broke every single trip you make. You know.
I know, I know. I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna like when I go to India, for example, I'm gonna stay in the cheapest, grubbiest, shittiest places possible. I'm probably not going to eat the street food. To be fair, I've got a lot of friends that have traveled India, and they said don't do street food because it's not going to end up well. And I had a massive surgery on my stomach last year, so I have to be really careful with certain foods. So that side of things you probably won't see too much from me, but definitely the shitty hotels and all that stuff. I'll be rocking that. That's for sure.
Very cool. All right. So your current channel, Irish Demon, what kind of content do you usually put on there?
So I'm kind of a talking head reaction guy. So I'm passionate about like space travel. I love science. Although I'm not a scientist. I don't like, you know what I mean. I don't have a huge technical knowledge where science is concerned. But I love science and I love technology. And when I realized that there was flat earthers out there and what some of them were doing, I was like, oh, I've got to fight back against this bullshit. And so yeah, I started doing the anti-flat Earth stuff. Then the current pandemic happened and it just kind of drove it because with the pandemic and people being in lockdown all the time, a lot of these conspiracy theories are coming to the fore, and some of them are quite harmful. So yeah, so for now, I'm doing a lot of reaction videos. I try to do one every day if I can. I'm also going to start going back to my roots. I was an actor for a long, long time, and I used to do a lot of stand-up comedy. So I'm going to go back to my roots a little bit and do some sketches as well. So I'm going to film some sketches and put that up on my channel just for some fun. And yeah, that's about what I do on there. I do some live streams every week as well, just to get to know people. And a lot of the live streams are just me, just interacting with people, and
All
a
right.
lot of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, how many subscribers do you have?
Right now, let me just check. It jumped a fair bit over the past week. Past 2 weeks, it's gone up to 3,350.
Awesome.
So well on the way to 4,000. I just hit 2,000 about 2 weeks ago, and had a live stream to celebrate that. And then within a week, it was up to 3,000. So it's been doing really, really well. I'm really happy with how well it's been going.
All right. Do live streams or your content that you have recorded get the best reactions or the most reactions?
Definitely the created content. When it comes to like me, so I'm trying to build this into a business essentially, and try to do this professionally because I really love it. I love performing. So when it comes to the financial side of things, the live streams are marginally better because obviously you get super chats, donations,
Sure.
members as well. That's a huge thing for me. Members and Patreons. Really, I like. It might seem like a very small amount, and you know, to some extent it is, because again, I'm just started off. But my Patreons and memberships alone have allowed me to purchase a better camera, has allowed me to get a really good gimbal for going out and doing my vlog channel and stuff like that. So it's had a huge impact. The created content, though, is what really brings in new subscribers. A lot of people don't like watching live streams. It doesn't appeal to most people, actually. So the created content really helps bring people in, and I do premieres of all of them, which YouTube seems to really like because there's a lot of interaction from the public and stuff like that. So I do try to premiere every video if I can, but yeah, definitely the created content's better for getting subs in, I think.
Fair enough. All right. Let's see here. When did you start actually creating content? Would that be that? Obviously, that's going to be your weight channel, but
Yeah,
the current,
as in the flat Earth kind of stuff.
sure. When the current channel that you do and content you do, when did you first start doing that?
It would have been about 8 months ago, or whenever Nathan Thompson started shouting at kids in a school. That was, yeah, it was around that time. So it's actually nearly a year ago, if you think about it. It's about a year ago. That's when I started making the flat Earth stuff, and then I figured out that this was actually a thing. Like it wasn't just this one guy, and then it just went from there. It's just yeah. So I started watching a lot of the flat Earth debates to learn more about it, and then eventually I started breaking down the debates of other YouTubers and other debaters. I'm not really a debater myself. I will be doing one day on.
Hold on, you're gonna have to repeat that. Hold on, we got
Team
a
Skeptics.
lag here.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, go ahead and repeat what you just said.
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing a debate on Sunday. It's actually my first live debate. Well, my first proper live debate against Rad Vlad over on Team Skeptics channel. So that's going to be. I don't even know what the topic is, to be honest. He's kind of jumping between topics, but it doesn't even matter. I'll have fun with the guy anyway. Yeah,
they were trying to get.
So that's going to be a first for me.
They were either going for flat Earth or atheism. I think was what he was trying to get you and Rad Vlad to do.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So
either one, I'm happy to do.
That'll be interesting. It'll be a good time.
Oh, for sure.
I guess since you're doing reaction videos and stuff like that, is that your favorite type of content, or do you prefer to make the flat Earth idiot content?
I kind of like both. When it comes to creating content, I like to do the reactions videos most. When it comes to watching content, like what I watch myself on YouTube, I personally prefer long form and more kind of talk show or like things that don't require you to sit down and actually watch it on the screen. I do a lot of work here in terms of the fish tanks take up about 4 or 5 hours a day. The dogs are very demanding. I do all the cooking and dishes and stuff here because Mrs. Demon works long hours. So for me to be able to stick my headphones on and just listen, that's what I like. So that's, for example, that's why I love Johnny O's videos, the Dingleberries and Klingons and stuff like that, because I know I've got 20 or 30 minutes that I can just listen and not have to like go on and look, what somebody's trying to show you or whatever. Same goes for JL Warren, PhD Tony, Team Skeptic, Fight the Flat Earth, all those guys. That's the style of content that I like. And Creaky Blinder is one of my absolute idols. So I love Creaky Blinder to bits.
That's awesome.
And my channel is kind of similar to his. We don't get too deep into the science stuff. Mm-hmm. We just point and laugh.
Yeah, when I first started watching Creaky a while back, but I could not understand a damn thing he would say because, he's got
the Welsh
very,
accent.
Very thick, yes, very thick
very
accent.
Strong.
But I think I got a little bit more used to it.
It's not so bad for me. Yeah, you get used to it over time. When you first hear somebody speak like with a strong Welsh accent, I think he's from Swansea, so it's a pretty strong Welsh accent out that area. It can be a bit like what did he just say?
Yeah.
But as time goes by, your ear kind of adapts to it pretty well.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so now you're going to be starting a travel channel. I think that's awesome. First of all, but places that you've already been. What was your favorite place that you visited?
My favorite country that I ever visited was probably Turkey. I visited there, I guess it was about 10 years ago now. It was one of the most incredible countries in the world. It's the part of Turkey I was in is down kind of by like Greece in the Mediterranean area. So you're where I was staying, you're about a 10-mile boat ride to Kos, the island of Kos in Greece. So in that area, it's a huge, it's just where loads of different cultures just got smashed together in a small, and I mean beautiful place. So I got to see, on one hand, some beautiful Ottoman architecture, and then you go around the corner and there's beautiful Greek architecture, some Roman architecture, amphitheaters. It just had everything. The food was incredible. The people are super friendly in Turkey. The people of Turkey are without a doubt some of the nicest individuals I've ever met. Everywhere I went, they were so friendly. The culture there is beautiful. The music is beautiful. If I could recommend any country in the world to visit, Turkey is definitely up on the top. Mediterranean Turkey specifically, like Bodrum or Bitez or any of those areas, I would just highly recommend. It's not crazy hot either. It's not like Australia hot, but it's beautiful there. It's magnificent.
That's very nice. Yeah, I have never been to any other country that was like overwhelmingly awesome. You know, Americans think of, well, at least I do, of travel a little bit different than people from the other areas of the world, because most of the world hates America. You know, so it's just true. You know, it is what it is. You know, but so that's very awesome that you're gonna be able to get to go everywhere that you want to go to without having real issues that some of us may have.
Like there's with my passport, there's pretty much no countries that I would be barred from entering. There's a few African countries I really want to visit that would be quite difficult to get into. I always wanted to go to North Korea because I'm just fascinated by it. But at the same time, I can't bring myself around to pay money to support a regime that does what North Korea does to its people. So I'll probably go to South Korea. I'm planning a week trip from Japan over to South Korea. And then I'll probably go north to the DMZ and go into the little UN huts or whatever. So I'll technically be in North Korea. And then I'm obsessed with the former Soviet Union. And that is why I got into this whole thing. I love Bald and Bankrupt. He travels around the former Soviet Union. And that's another thing I really want to go to, like Chernobyl and places like that. So I'm super excited. It's kind of going to be like dark tourism, I guess. That's kind of what I'm going for.
Okay.
That's what I love. So
yeah. I'm looking forward to it, man. I think that's going to be
great.
Awesome content.
I can't wait.
I really do.
Sure.
Okay. So you've got plenty of times you've asked or mentioned your car. What kind of car do you have?
Oh, yeah. All right, so I just recently switched cars. I went full Aussie lifestyle when I moved here, and I bought a 4-liter V8 supercharged Ford Falcon. Right? I've like in Europe, everybody drives tiny 1-liter cars. I've only ever had small cars in Europe, and so I came here and I was like, I could just drive this car and not pay 10 grand on fuel and insurance. I'm gonna get it, so I did. I loved it. It was a lot of fun, but it was just too big and it was too awkward. So my neighbor and friend, he has a car place where he sells secondhand cars, and I had him on the lookout. I was like, I want a little European hot hatch. And one day I was driving home from dropping Mrs. Demon off to work, and there was a guy parked outside with this mint condition Peugeot 207 GTI, which is one of my dream cars. So I pulled right in. I was like, you selling this car to my mate? And he was like, yeah, I'm swapping it in. I was like, what can you tell me about it? So the guy put like 10 grand into the engine. It's a full like stage 2 turbo and all this insane gear in the car. And like 10 grand bucket seats. Like the guy went all out on this car. So I was like, okay. I was like, that's good to know. So I rang Kent. I was like, there's a guy outside your door with a Peugeot GTI. Buy it and I'll swap you my car for it. So we did a straight swap, so I'm super happy. I love my car to bits. It's small. People laugh at it, but they don't laugh when you're at the lights and leave them in your dust.
I'll be happy to race you anytime I can ship my car over to Australia.
Yeah, what have you got again? You've got
a Grand Prix. I've got a 2002 Grand Prix with about 420 horse at the wheels.
Nice.
So I mean, it's just a 3.8 liter V6 supercharged.
Nice.
It's
sounds like crazy.
It's fun stuff.
I bet.
But I take it to the track.
My car is like 3 after all of the upgrades and tuning. It's about 310 brake between 3 and 310 depending. Temperature is a huge factor in it in Australia as well. So when it's super hot, you don't get as much HP. That's for sure. But my car weighs about the same as a MacBook. So it's a lot of power to weight ratio. So you got to have the launch control on. You wouldn't think it looking at the car that it's pretty fast, but definitely whenever I've not raced, in case my mother's watching this, I've always kind of like, I'll pull away. Like the thing just goes. It just, as they say in Top Gear, it just fucks right off. But when you're going up against a V8, it shits all over a V8 off the line, obviously because of the power to weight ratio. But once you get over like 80 miles an hour, the V8 just pulls off. It's just gone. It's just got buckets of power. So like, but a racetrack, you want that quick power. You want that easily accessible speed. So I'll bring him to a track any day, man. As long as there's corners, I'll win.
Oh, come on now. Yeah, I only do. I actually take my car to a quarter-mile straight track. Usually several times during the summer. It's awesome.
I reckon I'd have a good chance over the first eighth of a mile, but after that, I'm toast against the V8 or anything V8 or V6 supercharged. Toast.
Nice.
I'll win off the line. I'll beat you in a 10-meter race any day.
Oh man. All right. Okay. Who was the largest influence that you've had in choosing what to create?
Biggest influence on me has been Team Skeptic. So I've followed Team since day one, and I really enjoy his content. And he's me and him talk all week, you know, maybe 2 or 3 times a week on the phone or whatever. And he gives me a lot of tips and a lot of guidance, and he watches most of my videos, so he gets a really good impression of what I'm creating. So he's able to give me really good feedback, and that's helped a lot actually. I have a lot to thank him for. Another person is definitely Creaky Blinder, because I just thoroughly enjoy his style. He doesn't swear. He doesn't, and I've tried to cut down on the swearing, but it's really hard for an Irishman to not swear. And so yeah, I like that he's clean in what he does, which is probably where I should be going, but to go more mainstream, I guess. But yeah, he's another one. There's a few others. Like when it comes to the technical stuff, obviously PhD Tony's incredible. Professor Phil Bell is another one. Those guys are just amazing when it comes to that kind of thing.
Awesome. Okay, so one of the questions was going to be, is there any indication your channel may go a different direction? However, you're already going to be starting another channel.
Yeah, so I'm going to keep
same...
definitely the Irish Demon channel. I don't care if my other channel gets 100 million followers. I'm still going to do the Irish Demon channel just as I do it now. Because as much as I'd like to do it kind of as my full-time job, it's still just a hobby to me. So if I got demonetized tomorrow, I'd be pissed, but I would still make content because it's part of who I am now, really. So the Irish Demon channel won't be going anywhere, no matter how big the other one gets. I mean, during busy periods, it might slow down a bit, but I'm definitely not going to leave it hanging, that's for sure.
Very cool. Do you have any specials that are coming up? Any collabs aside from that debate that you were talking about earlier?
I am working on something with a group of people at the moment. So myself and team have a few collabs. Not in the works yet. We've just talked about some ideas, but also with some other creators in the community. We're going to be doing. I'm going to try do it. It's going to be once every 2 weeks. We're going to do a collab video on my channel where different creators give their point of view on a specific video or on a specific flat earther or whatever. So I think the first one's probably going to be Nathan Thompson because everybody knows him. So, I mean, everybody's going to be able to find something to say. And we'll see how that video goes. If that goes well, I think the next one will probably be Kent Hovind or maybe CC. So yeah, there's a few ideas in the works, that's for sure.
That would be awesome. All right, let's see here. I guess it's really about all the questions that I've got. Is there anything that you would like to mention about yourself that I did not ask you? Just something that you think people may want to know.
That's a good question. Not that I can think of off the top of my head. But if anybody does ever have any questions for me, I'm open book for most things. So like people can ask me anything in the chat or in comments or an email or whatever. You know, I'm really, really slow to respond though, because I am such a procrastinator. You know what I'm talking about. I'm a terrible procrastinator. So if I never respond to you, just pester me. And I won't be offended. I won't be annoyed by that because I know it's my fault. So I've got no problem with that. But yeah, so if anybody's got any questions or whatever, they can hit me up anytime. I'm happy to chat.
Perfect. All right. Other than that, that's really about it. Oh, since I got you on the spot, I can ask this question, and you can still decline it. But
sure.
Why doesn't Mrs. Demon ever come on the show? Why doesn't she say hello? I mean, all we see is a CGI hand every now and then holding a chihuahua.
Exactly. Exactly. So Mrs. Demon has been like only a few of your viewers will know this show. There's a show called Still Game. It's been going on in Scotland for like 20 years or whatever. And there's one character in it, you never see her face, but she's in every episode. So Mrs. Demon's kind of like that. So we're planning we're planning on doing a weekly podcast, myself and Mrs. Demon, like a 2-hour just us shooting the shit podcast live. So I'm trying to save up to get her a second mic so we can get all that working. But I'm trying to get her to come on. She's very shy. and self-conscious. She's absolutely beautiful, I might add, but she's so self-conscious and so shy. So I think once we get the podcast going, we might eventually get a second camera set up. You won't be disappointed. She's really smart and really, really funny. She's one of the funniest people I know. A lot of the jokes you hear on my channel are kind of things that come from her. You know what I mean? She's she's really, really clever. She really is very funny.
Awesome. You're gonna have to keep everybody updated on that, man.
Absolutely.
All right, I guess that's all I got. So if there's anything you'd like to say right now before we go, I'm gonna go and wrap her up.
I think that's about it. Just check out my channel, leave a comment. Comments really, really help the channel. That's all I got for today. But thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you taking the time to do this, and hopefully the people watching enjoyed this, and maybe they got to know you a little bit more. There's going to be links to your channels, obviously, down in the description. Go like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Join the Patreon. You guys got to support the community. That's what we're all here for. So, other than that, if you like this crap, then hit that like button down below too. Subscribe to me. I know I'm nobody on the YouTube, but it's okay. It's all right, man. No. All right, guys. Till next time. Take care.